very honored to be here. So who here would like to bust through those barriers that we have as women when we want to become empowered? And are you interested in learning from the example of empowered immigrant women who, against all odds, struggled to make it in this country and at the same time reinvented themselves in this new reality? Yeah, so welcome to learning from the example of empowered immigrant women. Christina, where is she? Thank you so much for your commitment for women's empowerment and putting together this awesome event. Thank you. And to the participants, thank you for being ready to reinvent your lives and be the best version of yourselves so that we give back to our communities and together we create a new world. This is your time. You're ripe to take a leap of faith and really do it. I know you can. Is it okay if I tell you why I'm so excited, so passionate about women reinventing their lives and living it powerfully? At 62 years old, I love my life. I have never felt so free and so excited to be alive and to be of service to other women and an example to them. I have a virtual coaching practice, so wherever I go, I travel a lot. I visit my daughter in Boston and my grandchildren. I go visit my mom in Argentina, and I am able to continue working with my clients and supporting them and guiding them because we do video conferencing. I love this new technology. I love it. So, unfortunately, it wasn't always like this. I grew up in Argentina in the 50s, and it's a very male-dominated society. And I knew since I was very little that in order to find my own voice and my own authenticity, I really had to find my inner power. And it wasn't easy. I got a lot of mocking, what are you trying to do, and all that. But with trial and error, I became the powerful woman that I'm now. So I'm very excited to share my example with my clients and with all the women that want to be working with me. So after living under a repressive military dictatorship in the 70s, and I took refuge in Europe at that time. After that, in the 80s, I moved to this country with my then husband and my 2 daughters. Paloma was 2.5 then, and Violeta was 10 months old. She was still nursing. And I came to this country I used my intellectual skills to get into a PhD program in UCLA. And I did most of my work on the empowerment of women in Latin America. I was one of the first scholars who published an academic paper on Selena. Bidi bidi bum bum. Yeah, it was very exciting. So, as a mentor of thousands of Latina students, I have learned about the resilience and power of immigrant women who face their own share of discrimination and challenges as women. When we talk about women empowerment, we need to remember that we're not all the same. The concept of woman is not universal. There's intersections of race, class, immigration status, sexual preference, physical ability that sometimes get lost in the whole conversation. So many Latin American women, for example, have to overcome not only the injustices in this country, but many times the machismo of their own men. Many times they are scared of going to the police if they're being abused because they might be deported. So considering women as one of the most vulnerable sectors of the immigrant society, together with trans people. So as a retired college professor, I was a professor of Latin American Cultural Studies at CSUN. Anybody graduated from CSUN? Yeah. I am so proud to say that I was Mecha advisor at the Chicano Studies Department, and I mentored the students spearheaded by women who dreamt the DREAM Act. And they were able to draft the bill for DACA, the DREAM Act that's being contested right now by a very anti-immigrant government. They were my students, so I'm super excited to say that I mentored them. I was a pro-immigrant activist since I got to this country in the late 80s when there was this flood of Central American refugees fleeing the civil war and political persecution in El Salvador. So I was very, very active during that time. And also when they were granted the TPS, the temporary permit to stay in this country, I worked with the organization CARECEN, Central American Resource Center. As a graduate student, I participated in an oral history project in Dolores Mission in Ball Heights with women who were working with the church, but they were so ingenious that there were all these men coming as refugees, and they were sleeping in the church because the church had opened it up as sanctuary. And every day they collected some rice and beans, and they prepared a meal for 100 men every night out of their own resources. So when I think sometimes I cannot accomplish my dreams, I think about those women, how they realized that miracle of multiplying the rice and beans like Jesus in the Mount, with the bread and fish. And that's what they got the inspiration from. So I've learned so much from so many immigrant women. I was also very active in the defense of the South Central Farm. Do you remember the South Central Farm? 2006? Yeah, that was an example of peasant women mostly women from Central America who brought their heirloom seeds and planted and cultivated their food and their herbs for their own healing. And unfortunately, they lost that land. But I learned so much from their resilience and their power too. I have also visited the Zapatista communities in Chiapas, and I have learned so much from the work of the women who have their cooperatives of embroideries in order to support their communities financially. So everything that I've learned from these immigrant women and my own experience give me the knowledge and the wisdom to support women in midlife who sometimes get to midlife and they don't know what's going on. They feel very disoriented, very confused. They think that their body has betrayed them. And what I try to relate to them is that midlife is a fascinating time. It's a portal of transformation. That's an opportunity for women to really let go of everything that they brought into that moment that doesn't serve them anymore. Toxic relationships, health issues, limiting beliefs, ideas that are not even theirs, jobs that they don't like, that are very dissatisfying. So it is an incredible opportunity for women to really move into the next stage of their lives and rebirth themselves. That's why I like to call myself the midlife midwife, because I support women to rebirth themselves in midlife. And it's something people don't pay attention to midlife women or women who are aging. And it's so important to support them. That's why I have been hosting Wise Women's Councils for 10 years now, and I have one in Ventura. I can just give you some flyers. I'm at the Inner Solstice table, and one in Ojai, where I live. I'm so passionate about supporting women really empower themselves that I would like to offer this audience a limited amount of free consultations where we will find together, become crystal clear what are the roots of your challenges, and I can give you the resources that I feel you can implement right away. and you can come to my table, and I will give you a form, and we can do that if you're interested. If you're really committed to your transformation, my mission is to build a movement of wise women on fire, and together midwife a loving, egalitarian, and cooperative way of living on this planet. And I would like you all to support that mission too. And for that, I would like to share with you some poses, power poses that I do every day that help me empower myself. Would you like to learn them? Okay, stand up. So this is the first one I'm going to teach you. It's called Bastrika, and my Tantra yoga teacher taught me. So it's very good for activating your nervous system in the morning. And so you will put your arms up, and when you inhale, and when you exhale, you bring your elbows to your ribs, and you hit your ribs saying ha. So are you ready? Ha! 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 Stop. Are you feeling the energy in your second chakra? Are you feeling the energy in your second chakra? As women, we need to empower that second chakra, the sexual organs. That's our power. So remember. So who's with me in creating that movement of wise women on fire? Thank you so much.